All right. I think this thing is on. Let's make sure, shall we? Let's um
Yeah,
all right. I
there it
think
is.
this thing is okay, cool. Hey, Saturday morning. Yeah, it is on. It is absolutely on. I guess we can clear this little coming soon screen here. Yeah. Oh, why is my damage meter on? This means I'm probably not on DX12, and we'll get the scuffed DX9 graphics. Oh well, we live with it. We live with it this morning. So hey, Caddy, since nobody else has said anything, I thought I would let you know about the big silent change that happened this week to some of our favorite content. Do you know what happened? Wait for you here, because you're like, what's that? They removed daily DRMs. There is no more daily DRMs. So what we have been I don't know why. Like, who comes up with this crap? So yeah. Turn down the music a little bit here. Welcome to those of you who have joined us here this morning or will be joining us on VOD. I have hooked up a little bit of a stream here. Mainly to say thank you all to 4,000 subscribers, which happened yesterday, which is kind of holy shit for me. Didn't see that one coming. So, yay. There's that, and then I figured I could pop on game here and, complain about the lack of daily DRMs because, of course, Caddy and I were probably the last two remaining people on the face of the game farming these things. So yeah, sad. You still get the regular rewards, but you don't get the extra little bonus on the dailies. So that's right. You swing your axe because that's probably how I feel too, right? All right. Angry at lack of daily DRMs. So yeah, I have no idea why they pulled that out of the rotation this week. I read some forum thread where some guy was complaining about it, and I was like, what the heck? And so I went and checked it out, and sure enough, I guess on Tuesday, they took out the dailies. So there was that. I guess they want us all to do strikes all the time or something. But less loot, absolutely. That's a fair bit less loot. When it comes to the daily DRMs. Absolutely. So, sad day. One moment while I cough. Oh, that was pleasant. All right. So we could complain about that. We could go to Dragon's End and we could complain about the difficulty of the meta event if you want. Does that sound like fun, Caddy? Does that sound like good times? No, we're not gonna go complain about the difficulty of the meta event. Yeah, well, you can start a thread on the forums or on Reddit. You can go to Reddit and complain about it there and talk about how you're too casual to get a turtle. But then we have our turtles, don't we? Oh, and my X key is not working this morning, which is great. Well, you have turtled up, so I will turtle up. So my X key is not working, and my F1 key is scuffed this morning, so that may create some problems while playing Virtuoso, so I'll probably have to switch here in a minute. But hey, yeah, why don't you just get, yeah, because I did like last week, and this one is scuffed too. Okay. Onwards and ever forwards. If you are out there and have any questions about the game, if you are new to Guild Wars 2, absolutely here to answer those questions if you have any. If you would like to join Cattywampus and I believe what we are going to do here is a round of some dragon bashing for fun and profit, I guess. Hello, just draw a new letter on the X key. You know, Maggie, that is probably the smartest idea I have heard. But my X, my F1, and I think everything else is working, so I just can't mount up and down really quickly. But yeah, so there's that. So if you are on NA, I believe Caddy and I are going to go and smack some stuff. If you skill clicked, you would be okay. Yeah, you're right. I should probably learn to skill click, right? Oh my, that was yeah, well played. Okay, with that in mind, let us go ahead. And we'll go into our little public thing and go and do a round of some dragon slapping here, which I'm actually a big fan of. I don't mind this festival. This is one of my least hated festivals in the game. I quite like the arena. I'm not a really big beetle race fan, but the beetle race in this one is actually quite good. Well, I say I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the seasonal ones. I actually like the ones that are in game. So what do we have here? Oh, so we are coming in the middle of a scuffed event here. So yeah, I should probably get just knocked down. That's a good way to go on a Saturday morning. So yeah. Okay, and my game broke, and that means that indeed my DX11 was on, and I should have turned my oh, okay, I should have turned my DPS meter off, because that is what's causing the problem. If any of you guys use Arc DPS, I'm having an issue under Arc DPS where it crashes out. Whenever it gets any readings, if I'm on DX11. Yeah, so we will address this issue here at this point. I guess I should have anticipated such a thing. I really, actually, all I have to do is turn this off. Let's see if I can join Caddy. I don't think I can. They're not letting me. Okay. And for some reason, streamer mode is not working here. There we go. Alright. So, back in gear here. I guess I'll have to go through this myself, Caddy. Oh, there you go. You can hang out with me. Oh. Alright. So, yeah, DX11 rip. I don't know what's up with that. It's only when Arc is on that I have the DX11 problem, so that is life, I figure. We got here the big Hydra. As you'll notice, my F1 isn't working. So we'll get through this as best we can this morning without our F1 keys or our mount ups or any of the good stuff. For those of you wondering, I'm just playing the Snow Crow's Condi Virtuoso build, which is totally overpowered, and I'm enjoying. Got a different version for open world, but this is pretty high value. Not playing well, and there I go again. Oh, good. This is going to be a great morning. Okay, so what I'm actually going to do here is turn DX11 completely off. Well, getting off to a great start this morning. Go DX power. So we will wait for this to load. Go into our options and turn this off, and then restart. And this should probably be the end of our issues this morning. Yay. Maggie and Jellu10, it is good to see you guys here this morning as I get this back in gear. And we will continue with our adventures as soon as this loads. And we're almost back up. I guess I could have put up my new Be Right Back screen. See? See, that would have been the smart play, would be to do that right away. Alright. Let us get back in game. Moa Dixon, good morning. I believe I'm reading that right. Yes, I am reading that right. Moa Dixon, good morning. So, yeah, there we go. Back. Guess I can keep up my DPS meter without a problem. And for some reason, my F1 key is working. Well, that's just fantastic.
Time to do some more
Oh, my. Technology on a Saturday morning. I am going to take it. Caddy playing her firebrand here. Ready to burninate the people. Alright. Oh, I wonder if the Light Ward Battle Staff has come down in price for those of you guys who might be interested. It always comes down in price this time of year because of these events, and it's a good time to pick one up if you've been wanting one, or if you want to speculate on a skin. That's a good place to do so. But let's get this done. Well, Dragon Bash, you ain't half bad. Could probably take this music down a touch. Let's do that. Of course, that's the best time to do it is during combat, because it's not like I'm providing any value.
I feel good.
Success. It is a morning of success. Grab some Dragon Bash coffers and some candy. And I think that's it. I don't have a whole lot left to do at the festival. I actually got one of those bone weapon chests. Last year I missed all of Dragon Bash since I was leveling. But oh man, yeah, Dragon Bash is one of the ones I like. I like Halloween. There's some stuff I like about the Christmas festival, Winter's Day. But I quite like this part. I was saying earlier, it's got an above average beetle race as well. There's a couple of things I really like. Oh, look, the F1 isn't working now. Isn't that wonderful? So there is that, the adventure is pretty decent. And really, I mean, in terms of festivals, it kind of stands out. I'm not a big festival guy. I've kind of lived through all of them, and they don't add a whole lot every year, understandably. So, there we go. So yeah, I'm actually a big fan. As far as the renewable, repeatable content goes, it is not a bad thing. This eye, though, I miss the old one where it used to just wreck everybody with the reflect, or what was it? It would do a whole bunch of retaliation, yeah, and nobody knew how to handle it. That was fantastic. That made me happy. So we'll just do our damage here. Guess I should dodge once in a while. What the hell? You're on Virtuoso. You don't have to. You can just sit here and take it all.
Time to do some real damage.
This build is so busted. I really would be surprised if this thing doesn't get healed. I do like the holo skins. You know what? The holo skins are nice. The holographic weapons. Those new weapons that they added, the Dragon Bone weapons have a few nice variants in it too. I was actually really surprised they added a whole new and kind of decent weapon set. Yeah, those are pretty good. So Party Commander completed, Dragon Basher completed. Oh, Party Commander completed. Does that mean I get my holographic weapon skin? I believe it does. So I guess we can leave. All right. Well, this was entertaining. Things were killed. Let's pull this out and see what we got, because loot is important. in your MMORPG experience. Plague Tree, good morning. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to my 4,000 subscribers special, where there'll be a face reveal. No, there won't be. Divided on which hollow skin to get. You know, I got, when I first got my one, oh well, Caddy got the orange lucky rabbit's foot, so that'll be useful. I took the holographic spark first. Oh, you know, I may just take the Jawbreakers on this one. How much are the Jawbreakers selling for right now? Because, yeah, there is a long-term goal here. Jawbreakers are 4.5 gold a piece. So that's 20 gold. I got the holographic spark before, which I kind of liked, but there wasn't a whole lot else that was there. Yeah, thank you, Moa. Thank you. Really kind of a big deal, particularly considering, you know, I haven't been able to put anything out for the last month because of the whole COVID thing, and got somewhere with some stuff this week. So we'll probably get some videos up next week, which is good news. But yeah, I'm really happy about that. That was pretty amazing. Holographic Bard. No, thank you. I actually have the actual Bard. Big no. Holographic Leaf of Kudzu. Well, you know what? That is actually kind of a nice weapon if I played any longbow, and I don't, so no. I was considering Spark, definitely one of those weapons. Yeah, you know, it's kind of a tough one on this. Holographic Energizer. I got the Moot, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. Chaos Gun I'm going to cash it in, my friends. I'm going to cash it in with the Jawbreakers and sell these at the trading post. Because, yeah, reasons. I still regret not getting the Lunar New Year Greatsword. I did get the Lunar New Year Greatsword, Moa. Really, really like the Lunar New Year Greatsword, actually. Really impressive skin. Let's see what else we get out of here. Just a bunch of garbage. Seems like it. Oh, and another Jawbreaker. I am a lucky person this morning. We'll sell that instantly. We'll get our money. So I am going to be working on Legendary Sigils is my next one, because I did the Legendary Runes a couple weeks ago, and they have been a tremendous value in terms of my account. So I think what I'm going to do is just do the runes next. So that just involves selling pretty much everything that comes through, and I have no problems with that. All right, well, Caddy, that was fun. Would you like to go see what the daily fractals are? Oh, I didn't even get regular things. Yeah, I didn't even get regular dailies done. I guess I could probably do most of this right now. I'll worry about it later. All right, let us go and see what the dailies are. I'm going to hop on probably my Catalyst or my Mechanist. I think Catalyst is the play this morning. She is already in Lion's Arch, and Caddy and I sometimes will go and low man some fractals just for the lulz, depending on what they are. Some of them are annoying to two-man, two-person. So let's go see what we got here. We have... let's see, Urban Battleground, Molten Boss. There we go. Molten Boss we can definitely do. Let's grab Molten Boss real quick and get that accomplished, as if we know what we're doing. We may have done this before, but of course now that we're on stream, this is going to be a complete shit show, because that's how we roll. All right.
I don't think this is the exit.
No, but look. We found the prisoners.
We found the
They're
prisoners.
forcing them to
Let's
lie.
go.
We have to get them out.
You're going in first, Caddy. I'm sending you in first.
Me either. Let's
Go, go, go.
Come on, comrade.
There we go. Get Caddy over here with some of that sweet, sweet quickness. And yeah, put some auras up and do some damage, or really let Caddy carry the damage, and we'll just sit here and throw out some semi-useless buffs. Yeah, trying to look at my chat window at the same time. Okay.
We have to hurry. Everyone pick up a weapon.
I guess I should have just brought my Mechanist, but what the hell? I felt like going challenge mode this morning.
Don't ask me that. Not now. You and your friends just need to get us out. Okay.
So weak, so weak. Challenge mode is LE life. It is. I love me custom Catalyst though. You know what? That's such a meme because Catalyst is pretty powerful. You know, you can play it just for DPS. This one's not actually a full DPS build or anything. I'm just kind of memeing about. This is the one that's up on the channel for aura spamming and just keeping people kind of safe and able to do their thing. Oh, so yeah, my F1 is going again, which makes it hard to get into damage. But yeah, I am a big fan of Catalyst. Catalyst is the best thing that End of Dragons gave me. I am a big fan.
1,000 storms.
Well,
Okay, let's get out of here.
Vindicator. Yeah, Caddy is a big Vindicator enjoyer. I like Vindicator. It's just no Catalyst, let's be honest.
Getting healthy.
In here, proximate auras. Why are we not killing this dude? That's up to me. Bladesworn. Hey, I like Bladesworn. Bladesworn is pretty good. Bladesworn, not a bad decision. I've played a little bit of it. I was really ready to hate that one. I had to rebind those very early when they started. The F keys are what got me started on key bonding, to be honest with you.
No.
Now we get the flock out of here.
Now we get the flock out of here.
Stick together. Do you hear me? You're the sheep. I'm the ram.
How come you get to be the ram?
I've got the horns.
Okay. I think I'll just drop this. And then come in here, and we will get some more quickness. And I will miss-hit that 4 on the hammer, which will always send me flying.
A swift stream.
There we go.
How'd that be?
But yeah, I actually am do well with the F1 through 4s. I do. If you probably know on my screen, I absolutely do change the 6 through 0s though. Those are the big keybinds. I figure if everybody just put their heel on Q, we'd all be doing a whole lot better. All right, Molten Effigy. This is probably the hardest part of the Fractal when you're two-manning it, because this guy is no joke, and there's a lot of ads. So we're gonna come in here and try and play properly. We'll see how it goes. You know, proper is not always something that happens. There we go. We're doing all right. Let's get some heals up.
Vigorate.
There's a cheat using it. Yeah, you know, I've been thinking about it, getting a real mouse. Because a real mouse would probably change my life, but really I just probably got to go out later and replace this keyboard. Yeah, I'm not. There we go. The thing about Catalyst is you can bring that health right back up. And there we go. Hey, we're doing it, Caddy. We're doing it. Some more heals up. Whoop. Didn't do that well. But we got that frost aura on, and we will make it through here. Which, you know, while I'm looking at my my screen here, this is not bad gameplay. Playing NG for a while and now trying Weaver. I see cycling. Oh, yeah. I mean, you can't play Weaver without attunement swapping. Weaver's the really big one. Yeah, rebinding F5, I would probably be best. And actually, I got a one of those Microsoft natural keyboards, and I probably am having the biggest problems with the F6 right now because it's actually on a curve and further off than it really should be. Alright, well, we did it. And nobody died, so go us. The Orb Reaver has a mini keyboard thing on the D-pad. Wow. Yeah. Like type little notes with your thumb. An additional scroll wheel. Okay. That is intriguing. That is quite intriguing. Alright, let's do it. Go, go, go. Yeah, we got her. As long as you can take out that alpha on that one when you're low manning it, it's not so hard. But yeah, not being able to use my fire attunement right now is really an issue. All right, glad that's over. Yeah, okay. Catch up with chat here in a second. Trying to be a little bit bigger value to Caddy, who's pretty much hard carrying us here. There we go. The Orb Weaver here. Okay, yeah, the additional scroll. Joe IP. I highly recommend the Azeron gaming keyboard. I ordered the new model a few hours ago. Been using the original. Joe, thanks for the recommend. I may look into that.
Sorry, Cub. This is not your lucky day.
Be very honest with you, I got this one when my last keyboard died at the secondhand store because it was such a good deal. But you know, you get what you pay for. I got my $9 worth. So, all right, Caddy. Let's get it done. God Ravage, thank you. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. All right. Thank you very much, Meg. I will definitely take a look at that when I get some time. All right. Yeah, Caddy with the big hard carry on the damage there. All right. Go and get my singularity, and yeah, let's kill the bosses, shall we? From that link. Awesome, thank you, Maggie. All right. Probably should have brought something with alacrity for this, you know. I'll catch up with chat in a moment here. I'm gonna try and not make Caddy just hard carry everything here this morning. Yeah, no, that didn't work out, did it? Look at those numbers. That's a sad little arc right there. That's me not carrying my end. I blame Elementalist. That's really it. Just came back to Guild Wars after F5. Oh, thank you very much, Joe. I am glad you are enjoying the content. I am firmly committed to getting some new stuff up this week. And then we'll see how the big changes work out. In 2 weeks, I guess we're looking at the big balance update. So I'm kind of standing back on that one, but I am going to have a video on a Mechanist this week, on a cheap Mechanist. It'll be Mechanist with cheap this week. And a couple of other things I'm hoping to get done before that. Obviously, Ellie does no damage. Yeah, it's true. It's true. I've said more than once that I hate Elementalist, and that Elementalist needs a buff and all the other stuff. But you know, I am worried about my screen here a little too much. I should probably get on something a little more. Whoa. Yeah. See, this is me going the wrong way. There's a little break bar damage for you. Thanks, Caddy, for the loot. I'll just sit here and yeah, there we go. All right. Well, there we go. Is there a big balance patch coming? I hope they don't nerf Celestial Armor. Joe, I don't see them changing Celly Armor, to be honest with you. I think the change is doing what it needed to do. I think that was it. I think the Celly Armor isn't the thing that you'll see changed. I think you'll see a pretty sizable snoop boop to Mechanist. I think Mechanist is probably going to see a significant downturning. A couple of the other classes, I don't think that we'll see any change to that gear, because that gear change has been a really positive change, I think, for this game in general. So let's see, what did we get in our bags here? One moment, why? Just had to cough there for a couple of seconds. So let's pull this up. Anything good? No. All right. Well, what did we learn today? We learned that without your F1 key, your Elementalist may be slightly crippled. So I'm going to go to my my character select here, and I'm going to find something a little more useful without an F1 key, and that will probably be my Mechanist. All right. But yeah, there is a big balance patch coming. The two big things that are noted so far is that Warrior will be getting quickness via the banners, and that we'll probably start to see alacrity on Druid via the spirits, I think was where they were going with that. Let's, for old time's sake, go run a DRM here. So yeah, those are the big changes that are coming. I would think that we'd finally see the nerf to the Vindicator rune. I think the Vindicator rune is, and when I say the Vindicator rune, I'm talking about the superior sigil of stamina on Vindicator, which is pretty busted. There's a couple of other things like that, but I mean, I think we're looking at some numbers fixes as well. Nothing too awful. Nothing too awful. I'm hoping a bunch of buffs. All right, so let's go and get us a lootless dragon response mission. This really hurts. I can't believe they took this away, Caddy. This was like our favorite thing. Let's do, oh, wait a second. Oh, these are strikes. Never mind. I can't read. Okay. Dragon response mission, Jarmax champions. Let's do like Doric on full CM, and we'll have a bunch of fun with that. If you are in the chat here, haven't spoken up yet, you know, feel free to ask any questions if you're new to the game, etc. I or some of the other people might be in there. Hi, Zero, thank you very much. I am glad you are following and enjoying the content. I am just kind of hanging out here on a Saturday morning, and Caddy and I are just going to do a couple of DRMs here. Probably just this one, and then we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, my X key not working. Big sad. But usually when we do these, Caddy goes and grabs the people, and then I just spike these veterans. Get there as quick as possible. There we go. But we do them on full CM because I guess is there any reason to do that? I guess you still get more rewards on CM than you did before, so that at least isn't a net loss. Let's grab these guys and see if we can pull this guy in at the same
Rage
time.
at maximum. Rocket punch.
Can't get them both, but we'll get them both eventually. I don't even know if I'm running power combi right now. This is not good. Take this dude out and then we'll look at it. Sure wish my F1 key were working. Yeah, but back to what I was talking about earlier. I'm really hoping we see some nerfs on the 28th, and not because I think that nerfs are fun or anything, but we do have some pretty big overperformers at this point. One more of these dudes. Pretty big overperformers, one being what I'm playing, obviously, there. Gotta shake the board out. Oh, I wish it was just that, Adam. I wish it was just something like that, to be honest with you. But it is not dirty. It is just two of my keys that are not working and everything else, and I've kind of troubleshot it, and when I go ahead and I uninstall the keyboard and then reinstall it, it works for a little while. So there's actually probably a problem with the cable going into the, but you know, got it $9 used. This is life. What is still left? Oh, Caddy got it. There we go.
Jenna. Divinity's reach won't be caught unaware.
And
If they can't hit the reach, they're bound to look for other
here
targets.
we go.
Anyone not behind thick walls is gonna be in some serious trouble.
The two closest villages are on the other side of the lake. I already sent reinforcements.
We should split up, cover more ground.
Thanks, Logan. You're the best. So here I'm actually going to go with the Jackal. The reason I run with the Jackal here on the full CM is because the mobs all have stability. You got a hook back up key. Tech Phantoms are pretty cheap. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that today because I didn't notice this until last night. Or I think it was yesterday afternoon that I first started having issues. Hey, really enjoy your guides and last week's live team. Hey, thank you, Cloudcaster. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome. Actually thinking I'm going to make these Saturday mornings kind of a regular thing going forward, and actually just enjoyed the response and hanging out with people, and you know, it's a little cool way to kind of relax on a Saturday morning, I guess is the best way to put it. So I think I'm just going to kind of may do these on a every Saturday morning kind of basis. Where I lost there. Let's get some boons down. But yeah, the reason why you take the Jackal on this is because on full CM these enemies actually have stab. So the best value that you get is on the Jackal with all the barrier, I find, anyways. But we do these a fair bit. Though I'm not sure we will anymore with this nerf to the treasure. I can't believe they nerfed the dailies. Then again, I suppose me and Caddy were like the only people left still doing these. So everybody got their legendary amulet and pieced out on this content.
Never felt better.
I'll go over here and grab these guys. Bring them back. Go. Yep, we are chilling on a Saturday morning, getting some stuff done, talking about the Guild Wars. I've been doing a couple of minutes today because I like the Tengu weapon skins are really nice, decent weapon skins. Absolutely agree with you on that, Joe. The Tengu weapon skins were one. I wasn't a big fan of the Stormcaller weapons, but those had some nice particle effects on them, which you can also get through these. And when you were high rolling on the boxes, you actually do pretty good. Some of those weapon skins that you get out of these boxes actually go for like 30 or 40 gold. And the reason is because they boil down when you salvage them. You can get little pieces of the whatchamacallits, the otter pieces out of those when you actually get those, if you're trying to do that otter collection, which is absolutely brutal. Tested my enjoyment of this game. And for those of you who have done the otter, I salute you. Not my favorite content in this game. All I have to get is a store for no quarter. Wow, that's a big, some of those masteries, those masteries are super grindy, and I kind of pieced out on a bunch of them because, wow. They weren't kidding with some of those Ice Brood masteries and collections, etc. A little bit grindy. I think a full set of 30 gold weapon skins is a little out of my reach compared to the way I usually play. Alright, well, turns out Mechanist is much more useful without an F1 key than Elementalist is, so
Statistically speaking,
we'll enjoy that.
this is rather rare.
Let's see what else happened this week. I guess we heard about the delay this week in the new Strike CM, which doesn't impact me at all. So be clear about that. I haven't done any of those, so I won't worry too much about that. But I know there was some people who had actually taken time off work because they wanted to world first that. So I guess that was kind of a shame, so to speak. Oh, I can't use that. When you can't use your dismount key. Wow. Let's hit that. I guess I should really become a skill clicker all the time. Alright. And I don't know why people hated on DRMs so much. They're just fractals. Skill clicking is the way. Oh, really? Okay, well, for those of you skill clickers out there, Caddy's got you covered. She believes this to be the best way to play the game. These DRMs are not that much different than fractals, to be honest with you guys. Oops, wrong mount. And I was a big fan. I really enjoyed them. So I don't understand the hate they got, to be honest with you guys. I wish they'd kind of done this with the story missions in the new expansion pack, because I have played these missions more than any other story missions, and I'm having a problem doing a second story run of End of Dragons. It's just not turning out to be my favorite thing. Maybe the rewards weren't good enough. I don't know. The rewards in these things were pretty good before this week. I heard a lot of complaints about the the pre-events where you had to do that bunch of stuff at the beginning. That people hated that, and then I heard a lot of people complaining that the bosses were quote unquote nothing but HP sponges, which I don't necessarily agree with. I mean, they weren't my trend, but they weren't awful. So I don't know. Don't know what the real issue, why people hated these things so much was. Because in terms of repeatable content, it's not bad. Alright. Okay. X up in the chat if you hated DRMs. And then I'll call you out and make you tell me why. I'm not sure why people hated these things so much. one more wave. Maybe it's the waves of enemies. I can see why people got a little testy with the waves of enemies. I personally like me some trash mobs, so
Smash them. Getting healthy.
there we have it.
Armor enhanced.
Is that it, or do we have one more wave? One more wave. There we go. I think some people just like hitting bosses all the time.
Getting healthy.
I love chewing through trash mobs. Yeah, I'm the same way, Adam. I am the same way. It's part of what I used to love about City of Heroes so much. It was making me play them all at once for the story.
We're missing
Yes, I can see that.
They need
I
a
don't
chance to
know.
escape. Let's give Ryland's Legion someone to punch.
I could see how they become a chore having if you felt like you were having to do them all in one sitting, kind of thing. Like they would come out, we get an episode, and you know we do 4 or 5, and then a couple of weeks later we do 2 or 3, and we do it a couple weeks later we get a couple more.
Getting healthy.
All right,
Hasn't anybody specialized
let's see if we can do this without dying here,
Rage at maximum.
which I can't always do. I can see the hate. Oh, I'm just sitting there taking hits. Bad move. Yeah, I am not playing this well at all.
Smash them.
Caddy again with the Saturday morning hard carry.
Getting healthy.
There we go. Well, we're doing alright. I'll take my 12k DPS.
Let's break his.
Oh yeah, and I managed to what? Not have any CC power here? Okay, good job. Good job, mine. There we go. Alright, I'm helping. I swear I'm helping.
Invigorating.
There we go. So I'm on a fresh. Tell you what, give me a couple of seconds, and I will take a look at that Joe. I do want to not make Caddy carry this entire fight by herself here. So yeah, I'm just eating every mechanic. Good job. Well, I don't think I have much by CC here.
Getting healthy.
There we go. The bar is broken. The damage is being done. There we go. And you know, like all things in MMOs, if you're struggling because your gameplay sucks, make sure you bring somebody who's actually good. And I'm glad I got Caddy for that.
How'd that
There we go. We can do it. I'm gonna drop that. There we go.
rocket punch?
Which of course is pretty much all my CC as well. Yay. Work together. That's Rox's way of saying, hey Caddy, do the break bar mechanic because I can't. There we go. No F1 for me.
Getting healthy.
Caught up on chat here in a moment, my friends.
Going hypothermic.
Oh, I'll take it. I mean, but we did pretty good on that. Alright. So I'm on my fresh Necro getting HOT hero points. What's your personal favorite elite spec for Necro if you have one? It's Scourge.
You're supposed to be
It
fighting
is
for a
absolutely
world.
Scourge. Though all 3 of the elites for Necro are currently really strong and fun. I'm a fan of all three, but if I was only going to play one, it would absolutely be Scourge. If I wanted something super simple, if I was looking for that kind of simple smack 'em gameplay, you know, low impact or low intensity or whatever they're calling it, I would probably go ahead and play Reaper in that case. But when it comes to what I enjoy most, I enjoy Scourge, absolutely. Yes, Scourge absolutely requires an F1 key. Yeah, that is a big caveat there. So Scourge I enjoy because Scourge can be played in two very different ways. With Scourge, you've got the ability to play it for heal Scourge, and you've got the ability to play it for DPS Scourge. DPS Scourge currently, you know, I don't have a tier list or anything, but I gotta think that DPS Scourge for open world in Viper's gear, running Parasitic Contagion, is still probably about the strongest DPS versus survivability for open world. It's still intensely busted. I really like DPS Scourge. It's one of those ones that you can put it in like full damage gear, like put it in Viper's gear, and still get enough sustain off the traits that you know you're doing really well. So yeah, I'm a big believer in that one. Harbinger is really fun. It's a little more complicated to play, and again, if I wanted just some simple upfront power damage for rolling around, you know, grabbing nodes, doing a few world bosses or whatever. It kind of depends on what you want to do. I might consider Reaper. Reaper is just simple fun. Reaper is really simple fun and still probably the king of open world when it comes to, you know, just tooling around on a regular basis. But yeah, that's kind of my read on it. I still think that Scourge is the best elite spec for Necromancer.
Another testament to my greatness.
Let us go here. Spin to win on Reaper is absolutely true. Plague Tree, welcome. Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Spin to win on Reaper is absolutely a thing. For heavy armor, what would I pick, Sync? Again, these are going to get into, you know, what is your favorite way to play? What is your favorite option? Currently, heavy armor. If I was worried about being quote-unquote accepted in groups, I would probably go with Guardian. I would probably go with Firebrand. If I was worried about flexibility, I would absolutely choose Revenant. And Revenant probably one of my favorite three classes in the game. I really like, you know, the ability to play Revenant in a lot of different ways is why I like Revenant. And Bladesworn is currently no joke. The problem with Warrior is that the other two options, particularly for open world, are not maybe as good as you would want. If you're going to play some world versus world or whatever, yeah, you know, I would probably, you know, go into Spellbreaker at that point. But Warrior, other than Bladesworn right now, Warrior's got some issues. Thief's got some issues. When it comes to open world, I'm not sure that these two are the best classes to be really investing yourself in at this point. So when it comes to what's the best heavy armor class, you take Warrior off the table, you're looking at either Rev or Guardian. Guardian, if I'm going to be doing any kind of, you know, group play, I'm probably going to go with Firebrand and play Guardian. But when it comes to my general day-to-day play, I am a big believer in Revenant. And again, it gets back to the flexibility of the class. The flexibility of Rev is absolutely fantastic. So that is where I would go on that. I know a lot of people out there are big on Healbrand for support. Did I buy my little chests here, or did I just kind of stand here? I just kind of stood here. I will get a couple of Omicron boxes because they are apparently the best. Let's see if I get anything good. A couple gold worth of leather. We'll go sell that for our morning goodness and move along.
Statistically
Making
speaking,
one of each
this is
class since
rather
coming
rare.
back to the game. I think having one of each class is one of the best things you can do for yourself in this game if you're at all kind of invested in it. Leveling classes and getting them in second best in slot gear in this game is just so ridiculously easy and cheap, really cheap. To get into second best in class gear. So I think the ability is out there to kind of, easily gear up a lot of vaults. And I think that the best way to learn to play this game is just to play it in a lot of different ways. But if you're one of those players that's just kind of a one class person, I get that. If it weren't for people like that, my channel wouldn't exist. I'm thinking a lot of people just want that one build for the character that they like. At any rate, at this point, Caddy will be glad to hear we will take a 5-minute break. I will step out onto the balcony, and then I will come back, and we will do more. We will find more. Yes, Caddy is very excited for a 5-minute break. Depending on where you are, it's legal. And that's what we like. So I will put up my BRB screen, which I lovingly created this week. And I will be right back.
At ease. Always be loyal to your crew. Speak. What now?
All right, I have returned, and here we are. I'm not sure what we're going to do here at this point. We may just end up hitting some bosses for a little while for chant bags. I don't know. We could go back to Dragon Bash Arena. I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do here. This is just kind of ad hoc, so to speak. I guess the other big change that happened this week was the dungeon currencies, which I'm not sure I care a ton about. Dungeons have never been a huge part of my gameplay loop in this game. I joined it largely after the whole dungeon thing was no longer a thing. I got most of my dungeon collections done in World versus World, so not sure it's the biggest deal, to be honest. But we will wait for Caddy to come back. What do we got here? That was such an odd out-of-the-blue update, wasn't it, Plague? Like, holy crap. They changed dungeon rewards this week. Like, I mean, I'm reading the patch notes going, are you joking? Like, what the hell happened here? What is the deal with this? Absolutely out of the blue. But, you know, I'm guessing that's a Steam-related thing. That's an onboarding thing and trying to deal with players coming up with too many currencies and things like that, which I get. You know, you only get to launch on Steam once, and if things like that can be kind of smoothed out for the new players, I think that that's probably a good thing. Does it have to do with Season 1 coming back? You know, I don't know. That, you know, thinking about it, does it have to do with Season 1? I'm not sure. This whole Season 1 thing was out of the blue as well. Yeah, it aligns with the singular currency update they did with strikes. Yeah, Plague Tree, you are absolutely right on that. Which was absolutely a good move, by the way. Big fan of that change. As somebody who's sitting on a fair number of these strike currencies, let's see, what am I sitting on here?
It's been a rough day. A shiny new crystal would cheer me right up.
Best voice acting in the game, right there. Senior Crystallographer Smoxy. Oh yeah, when is Steam happening? There's been no word on this, Joe. The Steam thing is like they wanted to do it, and then they doubled down on the expansion, and then they came out and again just said, okay, well, now we got to worry about the Steam release. So Season 1's part of that. Season 1 is making sure that there's no gap in the story continuity, which I guess I can appreciate. I'm not a huge fan of Season 1, to be honest with you guys. I've been pretty clear about that in the past. So yeah, I'm sitting on enough to almost buy a whole set of Ascended Armor just out of the blue shards. And I guess the other strikes give the green shards now. I guess that's the way that works. But honestly, I've been spending all of that on just cashing them in on my weekly ass, because weekly ass is an extra 30 gold a week, and we like an extra 30 gold a week. Well, Caddy, you want to go hit some champions, because that's kind of what we do sometimes around here while we're just kind of doing stuff? Yes. Okay, I'm going to find something else to hit champions with, but I'm not sure what at this point. I'm going to pick something that doesn't require the use of an F1 key, which, that's going to be a short list. Do we want to play Rayev? Do we want to play... No, we can't play that. Do we want to play... You know what? I am open to suggestions out there in the chat. If you've got anything you'd like to see me jump on here. I am feeling a little ambivalent about what I'm going to actually be playing here. Maybe some Ranger. Maybe some Ranger is the real play this morning. Yes. Let us grab some Untamed. Actually, I feel like playing Condi Ranger this morning. I think Condi Ranger is what I'm going. Yeah, Res Evil. I'm going with some Ranger gameplay, and I think I'm going to actually play me some Condi Ranger this morning. So let's see if I can actually do this, or if my gear is all completely scuffed. I think we have Vipers with crate runes. It's almost like I've played this before. Let's go find ourselves a... What's this? Let's go make ourselves a build, I guess. Wow. I guess we need skirmishing here with Strider's defense, hidden barbs, light on your feet, and sharpened edges. We were also going to need what, nature magic? Is that where we're going to get some of this? Or is it beast mastery or wilderness survival? Sounds better, doesn't it? Gain condition damage, muddy terrain, taste for danger, increased vitality based on... Okay, we'll go with that. What the hell? And let us grab condition durations, survival skills, beast abilities, poison. There we go. We'll go down here into our good old friend Soul Beast. We'll grab Oppressive Superiority, Predator's Cunning, and yeah, we'll grab that. So then, go down here, grab a couple of little, what do we want to put in here? Probably Moa Stance? No. Let's grab Vulture Stance and Entangle for the memes. We got a short bow. There we go. Would be fun to see a Scourge. I will do that for you, Joe. Give me a second, and then I'll pop on the Ranger. I will absolutely, for a few moments, pop on my Scourge here. The problem being is the F1 key, but we will take a minute, and we will put this out here on the screen for you, because it's pretty powerful. It's pretty powerful. Let's see. This is my strike healer build. This is my DPS Scourge build. There we go. Okay, so that didn't require a bunch of buildcraft. But that is not the right gear. Why is... there we go. Okay. Yes, and then we will go and let's go hit a bounty caddy. Let us go hit a desert bounty. See what we have up here, the high jump branch. So really, Scourge is pretty easy. Really, your big wins are going to be just loading a bunch of Condis, a bunch of Torment and stuff down. This was totally the wrong one of these. And then hitting it up with a little bit of Epidemic. So let's hit the other one of these over here, where we will actually get whatchamacallit. Actually get a waypoint where we can grab a bounty, and we will go and do this. And look at that, we have bounties up and everything.
You look like you can fight.
So I usually grab the Sand Snare here because it's usually quick to find and relatively easy to kill. So the real question when you're running Scourge in open world is right here, whether you're running Parasitic Contagion or Lingering Curse. This is the build. It's the same one that's up on the video on the channel, which is largely unchanged. Has been nerfed, I think, twice, and is still ridiculously powerful. And really, yeah, your choice here is between Parasitic Contagion, which is a percentage of your condition damage heals you, and Lingering Curse, which is a really nice DPS increase. And it's kind of the choice you got to make personally on that one. Some days I'm going to take Parasitic Contagion. Oh, looks like we got Scorcher here. Scorcher and Phase Shifted, not our best choices, but we will make this work.
Help me. I'm so... Let me out of this cage, please.
Yeah, I can't put my shades down with the F1. Oh my. Okay. So, a little bit scuffed to begin with, but you see, you know, without even really worrying about it,
Rage at maximum.
don't kite it over there. This sucks. There we go. Okay. Wow, that's annoying. Okay. So, the other thing to know is you're running Scepter on this. So the Scepter really is the biggest thing about the Scepter is not interrupting the auto attack. Caddy, kite this back this way. Before it goes invulnerable.
Armor enhanced.
There we go. Phase shifter is back up. It's pretty chill. As you can see, your sustain is pretty ridiculous on this. Can you show your gear, please? Yeah, Ninja, I will show it in a moment. It's all Vipers. It really isn't anything but Vipers. I'm losing the value of Epidemic on this one because there's no ads, but so be it. I'll just wait for this to let me do damage in here. This thing is just such a pain in the butt. So there, if you see, just pull that in like that. Of course, I can stand in all the scorchers I want. But yeah, after the fight, I'll pull up the gear on it. Phase shifter, yeah, Cloudcaster. Oh, phase shifter is just real. We got some help here from somebody. We got a Tempest coming in for us here. That's nice. Thanks, Vultures. Thanks for all the things I learned from you. You know what? Yeah, Vultures. You know, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. I'm absolutely thrilled that you're not just, you know, taking some traits there, that you're pulling some stuff out of the videos. That makes me super happy. Super happy. Are you going to do more of these? Yeah, I think we'll... what Caddy and I typically do is we'll farm some champ bags. So we'll do some desert bounties, or we'll hop on over to... Heart of Thorns, because believe it or not, those Heart of Thorns hero points are actually not bad money. There's a lot of champ bags. You get a lot of champ bags out of those. I mean, they're not obviously, you know, career money, but when you're just derping around, figuring out your builds and stuff like that, it's not bad. So yeah, there we go. Okay, let me pull up somewhere. I can't actually play this without the F1 key. It becomes a real pain. But for those of you who are wondering, yeah, we are running Nightmare Runes in Viper's gear, so nothing really out of the ordinary there. I think I have one piece that isn't Vipers. Did I read that right? No, everything's Vipers. Scepter with a Sigil of Demons for the Torment duration. That brings our torment duration up to 84 point some. With some food, you'll get that a little higher. And then what else am I running in? Bursting in each of these. In the staff, though, the staff, I've got this set up for my other setup, and I'm kind of being lazy on this. Not running a real second set. This is a Plague Doctor's staff. Did you craft your gear, the armors? Yes, absolutely. All of this is crafted. I did the legendary runes a couple of weeks ago, but all of that was crafted, absolutely. The legendaries also crafted. I guess I don't have my legendary torch on here right now, but I could absolutely put that down there. And I guess my torch is also set for Plague Doctors as well, but it should probably be set for Vipers. But I just haven't taken the time to do that. But yeah, yeah, all crafted, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I got some legendaries happening at this point. I did the backpack and stuff like that. Did you craft with Yasith, or did you? I always craft with something cheaper and then go into it. The difference isn't as high as it used to be, Ninja Fury, but it's still real. So I would still, like, you know, craft in Rampagers or Dire or something like that, and then change it to Vipers. Vipers isn't as bad as, say, a Trailblazers or something like that, but it's obviously a little bit more expensive. So yeah, I do the changing. Yeah, I'm also trying to change, but I was figuring what could I craft which is cheaper. Dire is cheaper. Dire uses some pretty cheap pieces, some pretty cheap materials. The real difference when it comes to Vipers is the black diamonds, and those are obviously a fair bit more. And then you have to have the whatchamacallums, whatever grindy grinders that you got to get on all the HOT ones. And the name is escaping me right now. Let me just check this really quickly here, because that would be the correct thing to do. No, not the elegies. The elegies are for the HOT stuff. I am thinking about... There we go. I am thinking about Fulgurites. Those are the grindy grinders I am talking about, is the Fulgurites. Which can be a little bit of a pain if you're doing your first set. Yeah, particularly if they're doing your first set. But, Ninja Fury, I will say this. The absolute easiest way to be getting Ascended gear these days is Icebrood Saga Strikes. Icebrood Saga Strikes give you the currency to pick up weapons, armor much quicker than pretty much any other option, and probably easier than going ahead and crafting it. And if you got that and a classic can use a Khalid Bulg, you're really talking about some pretty quick there. You don't have Icebrood. No, you don't. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, no. Oh, well, that would suck. I would look at maybe grinding up for that. Moa is asking, is Carrion a good alternative to Vipers? It depends on what you mean by alternative. Is it something good to get into if you're buying a set of exotic gear? Yeah. But is it going to give you anywhere close to the performance? Not in most scenarios. You're going to lose a lot of damage on Carrion. When it comes to, I will use Carrion if I'm setting up a build for butt cheap. And what that means is I want to test out a build for 10 gold. I will use exotic carrying gear because that carrying gear on the TP is super cheap. But will I go and do that at the Ascended level? Absolutely not. I won't. I guess I'll craft Dire then and change this. That's an option. Dire is pretty cheap to make, to be honest with you. But yeah, I wouldn't go into Carrion unless, I had a really, really compelling reason to do so. And I'm just not sure that there are many compelling reasons to do so other than to save money in, save money in gear that is a little bit substandard. All right, Caddy, sorry about that. Let us go to Amnoon. Let us find another bounty. Any suggestions on how to make decent gold? Yeah. Do your daily Ascended crafting. Whether or not you are...
Oh, what a pleasant
Whether or not you are making the Ascended materials, do the daily Ascended crafting and maybe sell it if you are at that point. So just go ahead and sell the materials that you make. It's a good way to make money. High value metas, high value meta events, meaning Dragonfall is still the big one, I think. Dragonfall is still ridiculously high gold. You can get over 40 gold an hour doing Dragonfall, and that's not super optimized or anything. So I'm a big believer in that one. I gotta change one of my traps here. Give me a second. I was not running.
This will be fun.
I want to be running Viper's Nest. Okay. So your daily Ascended crafting, going ahead and doing high value meta events, Terrir, so doing Octavine on a regular basis, things like that. are obviously going to be the biggest ways to make gold. There are a lot of really good gold making guides out there, to be honest with you. So I would look at, I think the people I learned about making gold from were people like Samajest, who's got some really good kind of gold making material on his YouTube. Guild MM's got some good ideas on how to make gold. Other than that, my biggest gold is actually doing what I'm doing right now, which is not huge gold. I'm going to be honest with you, guy. Dragonfall needs Living World Season 4. So yeah, you'll want that. Yeah, Mo is correct on that. So yeah, you know, I will do this a fair bit. The Desert Bounty's not the most lucrative, but the HOT hero points are really good. I guess I should be in beast mode, shouldn't I? That would be helpful. Okay. It's almost like I know what I'm doing on this ranger thing. Yeah, fractals are good money. Plague Tree is absolutely correct. But fractals don't start being good money until like tier 2 and tier 3 and tier 4. Like tier 1 and tier 2 fractals are okay money. Tier 3 and tier 4 fractals is where you start making the real money. And yeah, and that's also where you get ascended gear, and you could obviously just sit here and camp that because you're not obviously taking really good care of yourself. So those are, yeah, a few of it. In a couple of seconds, Caddy and I will hit up some HOT hero points here. We'll go and do, well, I will actually start my little train here. I will go to Meddlers, and I'm going to just start killing some open world heroes, some champions. And the champ bags are going to kind of pile up here, so I'll just give you guys a good idea of where I'm at. And then we'll do a few of these and see how much we make. What am I looking at here? So I don't have a whole lot in my bags here, so this is pretty reasonable to get a good idea of how we're going to do. And Caddy has gone on to her Virtuoso just to really burn it. Yeah, Reba's a good place. So doing Silver Wastes is not a bad idea. Silver Wastes is still okay money. Drizzlewood is excellent money. Drizzlewood is absolutely fantastic money. Trying to think what the big ones are. I think Dragonfall is still the big one. Apparently you can make, over 30 gold an hour just fishing these days, though. I mean, I haven't seen that. Well, we are not waiting for this giant to spawn. It's just not how I feel like rolling today. So we will come over here and start doing a few of these. And I will swap to... I gotta get my links up here. Give me a second. Get my links. There we go. And then we will start doing some hero points. Oh, no problem, Ninja. No problem. If you're gonna go do it somewhere gorgeous. Absolutely. CJJE, welcome. Welcome to the stream. Good morning. Good Saturday morning. Yeah, no, do it somewhere nice. Definitely. Drizzlewood is nice. Okay. So, yeah. What server am I on? I am on Jade Quarry. Servers only matter for World vs. World, and only until alliances, KEKW, come into play. Yeah. Oh, I just sat there and ate that, didn't I? And again, I should be in beast mode. Alright, there we go. Some real damage for a change. Not that I'll be keeping up with the Condi Virtuoso there. Which, for those of you who haven't played it, is completely fucking busted. I just can't believe how busted Condi Virtuoso is, but... Is leather farming Lake Dork still a thing? It's funny, I didn't think it was, and If you follow him, oh, I'm gonna get killed here. Kill it, Caddy. Thank you. If you follow him, there's a YouTuber named Cat Dad Things, and apparently, Cat Dad, whatchamacallit, did a video on the Lake Dork leather farm like a week or two ago. I couldn't believe it, and apparently it's still a thing, which kind of blew my mind. The build you have very high crit pop to the bleeds. Yeah, that is the one, CJJE. Absolutely, that is absolutely. You gotta have the mega crits. Oh. Caddy has changed again. She didn't feel like playing Mesmer anymore. She has decided to be a firebrand. Gail. Hey, Gail. Good morning. I'm terrified of how many classes are busted if I invested in gear and they take my build away. Well, that's why we. That is why we play MMORPGs, to feel very powerful for a limited amount of time and then get nerfed. You know, the nerfs are never that bad. I mean, are they going to hit Condi Virtuoso? I certainly hope so. But at the same time, I can't see them completely gutting it. All right, this mushroom is sometimes not my favorite thing to kill, but all right. Wasn't in Soul Beast form again. I swear to you guys, I know how to play Ranger. Let Caddy take. Good job, Caddy. Now I don't even have to really play. Oh, fat fingered that, didn't I? Took that hard, feeling mighty. Hey, not so fast. Yeah, well, I mean that is the MMO player's quandary right there. Oh man, I'm just not playing this well here. Alright. Alright, well, so be it. We have cleared a couple of quick champ bags so far. The next place we'll go is down here. Hopefully we'll get it before the meta starts. Wow, nice. I went to sell some leather. I've been passively farming from world versus world, so to speak, but the prices were so low. You know, they're not bad at this point. I mean, it's not what it was a couple of years ago, right? Like a couple of years ago, you did that Lake Dork leather farm and you were walking away with 20 gold, right? It was pretty ridiculous. But if I'm not mistaken, the current inflation has hit... whatchamacallit's worse. It's hit the T6 mats way worse than it's hit leather. So, I like that. Okay, they might totally nerf Celestial. No, they're not going to nerf Celestial gear, guys. I would be very surprised to see a Celestial nerf. I mean, I think there are still some way more broken things in the game. I'm having such issues with this F1 deal here this morning. Alright. So let us go in here. This Sage is obviously a pretty quick kill. This is one of the easier hero points. I'm going to just click all my skills today. Just burn that. No, they are not nerfing Celestial Gear. If they nerf Celestial Gear, I don't know what I'll do. It'll be worse than the Torment runes for my channel. That Torment rune nerf. When they nerfed the Torment runes and the shouts down to 5 instead of 10, I think I had to take down 4 or 5 builds off my channel. If they nerfed the Selly, oh man, I think half my content on my channel I would have to take it down. That would be hilarious. That would be hilarious. There we go. So we'll go do notice to trespassers. Yeah, tempests. All my engineers. All my well, pretty much everything. Well, I mean, I haven't been running any thieves or warriors in Celestial Gear, but I would lose all my my revenants. I've been playing a lot of revs. Think of all the new content. Yeah, think of all the redone content. Here's how we're going to get almost like Celestial stats without actually being in Celestial Gear. I'm sure those videos wouldn't get old. Alright. Let's...
They'll have to hit much harder.
Oof. Ate that one hard. Me trying to focus for a moment. Caddy's been doing all the heavy lifting this morning as I chat with you guys. That's how we do it. Nice job, Caddy. Alright. No Selly Necros at least. What are you talking about? I have a Selly Harbinger. Selly Harbinger is real. Selly Hollowsmith is actually one of my favorite builds in the game. Selly Hollowsmith is just... It's love. It's everything I love about Guild Wars. It's the aesthetic. It's everything. Yeah. Selly Hollowsmith is probably my favorite thing to play in open world. It's pretty decent. The gear allows everybody to have a balanced character stat-wise, get celestial exotics, and you have basically a jumping point into any content. That is exactly how I feel about it, and exactly I think why they did it. What they need to do at this point is they need to lower the cost of entry on a few of the other stat sets. And I'm looking at Diviners, I'm looking at Plague Doctors, I'm looking at those new sets. Those new sets, like, seriously, why they made, it impossible to gear up in Ritualists or Dragons. This is some of the worst decisions I've seen them make for this game in a long time. And I don't think Sully is busted. I don't think it's... As a stat set, I don't think it's a problem. I think that sometimes you get some problematic interactions with some other, some of the specs and stuff like that, but it's not like Celestial Gear works on Warrior very well. It's not like it works on Thief very well. Though I have tried it on Spectre, and it's not bad. I just don't enjoy Spectre very much. I'll catch up with chat here in a couple of seconds, everyone. I'm just going to take this dude out. But as you see, if you're kind of keeping score here while Caddy and I are at it, if you've got somebody to take out some of these champs with, they come down pretty quickly. And it's not bad gold, to be honest with you. It's not the best gold in the game. It's not fishing, I guess, but it's not bad. Just going to get somewhere safe here for a moment. And catch up on chat. So where are we going? They level in. Yeah, so it's just too good. Yeah, absolutely. Is it possible to mix and match your way to Celestial Joe? I have... here's why you can't. You can't get exactly there. You can come close, and here's why. Because in addition to having more statistics affected, there's actually a higher numerical value being given out to all the stats. So let me just illustrate this really quickly because I've got some gear here that I can change. So what we are looking at here is 30 30 30 30 30 30 30. Okay, so what does that add up to if we change this over to say a 4 stat set? We actually get numerically lower value in the total. Okay, so we could run this in a 4 stat, 54, 54, 30, 30. So this would be what, like 168. is the entire value here. What you get here is higher than 168. So can you ghetto yourself to it? Sort of. Because one of the things I was looking at for the But Cheaper series was, can you make, a variant of Celestial but cheap? And you can't for this reason. So what you need to do is get rid of a stat or two. You start foregoing things like expertise or ferocity is the best way to do that. Is kind of where I've been with that. Moa asks, saying, I have been running Celestial Hollow in World versus World, and while I don't deal the same damage as offensive stats, I was given the ability to refuse death. I absolutely love Celestial Hollow and World vs. World as well. You've just got so many toys at your disposal. And in World vs. World, that makes a really big difference. CJJE, I have really enjoyed the Spectre in the same way I enjoyed Revenant, Vindicator, and support builds in World vs. World or Open World. Spectre feels like great damage support hybrid. I will be clear with why I am not a Spectre enjoyer at this point. And it isn't that it isn't viable. It isn't that it isn't that there's anything wrong with it, kind of thing. My problem with Spectre is that the wells are a teleport, and it feels strange that I'm casting these teleports just to spam the effects off them and not actually using the teleports. I'm not even sure I'm explaining this right. Let me ping this to Caddy and give me a couple of quick seconds, and I'm just going to hop on the Spectre that I was working on, and I will explain this, and maybe one of you has an idea about this, because I'd love to enjoy this, but I don't. And it's why it's the only elite spec I don't have a build up on the channel for from End of Dragons. So yeah, this is the Spectre that I was tooling around with. So you got these wells, but what you end up doing is not using the teleport on them. Yeah. Let me just I'll go down here with Caddy, and I'm not very good at this, so if I get wrecked, you guys, like, don't get judgy. Don't judge me. So let's find our way down to the champion down here, and we will give it a shot. But I mean, it's not an awful spec, and it does what it does. And in terms of Thief for open world, it's finally viable in a way that, Daredevil is not, in a way that Deadeye I absolutely don't think is super viable for open world. I mean, I know I'll get some people that don't enjoy it. Yeah, of course you'll be judged. Yes, I will. I'm okay with it, actually. Judge me all you want. So I mean, I know it's viable, and I know you can, like, solo a champion on it, which is not something you can always do with other specs. And it is pretty high damage, but I guess my problem is that I just don't feel like I'm leveraging what's there as well as when I'm playing other classes. Like, I feel like there's a piece of the puzzle that's missing when I play this, is the best way to put it. I'll catch up with chat after this hero point. But the damage is okay. I mean, it's obviously, I'm not playing it very well, and I'm sitting next to Caddy, who's kind of a god on Firebrand. But let me just catch up here. Deadeye used to be super viable until they killed Invigorating Precision. Moa, I'm going to give you a hot take on that and say that if all that was keeping Thief viable in open world was Invigorating Precision, and I agree that it was, that Thief's got bigger problems. Like, I went into this on my Power Daredevil build, where, again, I'm using Invigorating Precision, and I am, I'm getting huge value out of it, and the sustain and everything, but it's the only thing that's keeping it alive. And it was the same when I did a Condi Daredevil build, which I had to take down because of the changes to the Torment runes. If all that was making these things viable in open world was a rune set or a single trait, that there's bigger problems with the class. And it's the same thing that I think is the problem with Warrior and Might Makes Right, because Might Makes Right feels like the only way to get a decent amount of sustain on a Warrior build that's doing a decent amount of damage. So if this is the case, and these classes are only, viable for big game hunting because of, one trait or whatever, I think that there's a bigger problem there, because you could nerf Impact Savant and Power Scrapper is still a thing. I'm going to catch up here, like how Cataclysms or Untamed Flows feel like it's missing something. See, now I disagree with Untamed. Because I actually enjoy the Untamed thing, and you guys are saying that Catalyst feels that way. I disagree. I like Catalyst, but you really have to be tapping all your keys over and over and over. Spectre's Shroud needs something, maybe an interaction with the Wells feels... Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it, CJJE. It's about 75% there. It just isn't fun. And if there was some kind of interaction, maybe it would be more fun. And I didn't feel that with any of the other elite specs. Like, I got my head around Untamed, no problem, when I had somebody help. And I got my head around Ellie because, like any Ellie spec, you just have to give it an extra couple of hours to build up different muscle memory. But when it came to this one, man, I'm just not feeling it. A door isn't going to work if it swings on just one hinge. Gale, that is probably one of the more insightful things that I've heard. And I've taken a lot of shit on the forums for my take on those sustain traits that happened, the sustain nerfs that happened with the launch of EOD, which I actually thought were very healthy for the game, but absolutely did put Warrior and Thief in an even worse place than they were. But that isn't a problem with changing the sustain traits. That's problems with Warrior and Thief. While Bladesworn, I think, is still viable. And this Selly Spectre is still viable. I don't think that I would call Spellbreaker or Daredevil on the same level as the rest of the things that we have, and really kind of need to be worked at. And that really sucks, because those are two of my favorite specs from an aesthetic point of view. Like, I really love Daredevil and the way it plays, but if I can't get the sustain out of it that I can get out of Revenant, even post-nerf Revenant, then why am I playing it, becomes the question. I think that the EOD nerfs may have helped the game, but they also did it to minimize the flaws of the EOD. You're not wrong, but I mean, it's a different way of looking at it, right? Like, you're talking about busted interactions. Like, if you had not nerfed Impact Savant, I mean, that's one thing. But if you had been able to run, say, this Spectre build with Invigorating Precision the way it was, or run Harbinger the way Parasitic Contagion was before the nerfs, or if you would be able to, I mean, look at the way that Bladesworn stacks Might. The way that Bladesworn stacks Might is it stacks it like instantly hugely, right? So that breaks Might Makes Right. So is it a patching holes thing, or is it making sure that you're not getting the same kind of problematic interactions that were created with like the torment runes on Renegade and stuff like that. So yeah, some classes are in a sad spot indeed. Well, this is just for open world, right? Like Spellbreaker obviously still has a pretty solid spot in World versus World Zergs. I mean, Caddy, if you're listening, can correct me if I'm wrong. I think that Spellbreaker is still a thing in World versus World. Maybe not like it was 6 months ago, but I think it's still viable. I still think that, you know, Thief will always be a thing in competitive play for SPVP, for World versus World. I think that Thief will always have a place there. But in terms of the open world, you know, top 3 SAG classes are absolutely... the top 3 SAG classes are Warrior, Thief, and... I mean, I want to say Ranger, but Ranger's not in as bad a place as it could be. Ranger's okay. Ranger's held back by Druid in open world. And again, I'm just talking for 100% an open world thing because, you know, Druid was meta for, what, like 3 years in instance PvE, so... It's not exactly sad. I mean, everything else is in a pretty good spot. And I think balance is pretty good. Druid is a thing in World versus World now. I think, yeah, Caddy's right about that. I think the Cleanse Druid is a thing there. Warrior, Thief, and Ranger, the OG D&D turn. Yeah, I mean, there is something to say that. You're just listing classes I like to play. Well... I mean, I'm not going to double down on Ranger being bad. I think that Soul Beast is in a really good spot. I currently really enjoy Untamed. I know that's a hot take. I know a lot of people are not big fans of Untamed, but I am a really big fan of Untamed. I'm going to hop on the Untamed for a little Untamed gameplay here. Let us, at this point, go and I'm just wondering what we can do here. Let us go down here, look for the champion down here. I actually like Untamed in open world quite a bit. Some classes kind of sad because they have 2 out of the... Yeah, and that is... I think Gale's hit it right there. I mean, I don't think Druid is viable in open world. I don't think... Well, I mean, it's viable. I don't just don't think it's nearly as good as some of the other options. And the Alacrity could absolutely change that. The Alacrity could absolutely be the difference on that. But I'm not sure that we would... you know, we're really going to call that until we actually see it happen. This giant is just not cooperating today. Every class has at least one spec that can survive in every game mode at this point, so ANA can have that to their credit. And yes, CJJE, I think that is absolutely to their credit. As somebody who's played a lot of MMOs and seen a lot of MMOs where specs really aren't good anywhere, I think that it really is to the testament of ArenaNet's balance, particularly in a game that is so hard to balance like this one. This game is notoriously hard to balance. This game is, I mean, just the gearing system alone makes it redonkulous to balance. And I think that the ANET deserves a real pat on the back about its current balance, particularly what they're doing with the instance PvE meta, making sure that, you know, every class has access to, you know, either Alacrity or Quickness or both. I think the balance for PvE is in a really good state. Really good state. I'll wait for Caddy here before I engage this lizard. There we go. 4 if you count core. Well, core is funny when it comes to balance, right? Is core ranger good? Well, core ranger is not core elementalist. Is not core engineer, right? Like, there's a couple of core classes that really perform well, and that I would really like to see other core classes brought up. You know, core guardian is good. Core ranger, not so much. Core engineer is fantastic. Core thief is not so much. You know, it's hard to go and play core Mesmer in open world when you consider some of the options, but you can absolutely play core Rev. You know, Alack Warrior when, Alack Warrior soon. It's getting harder to balance as it brings more classes and keeps trying to elevate with new expansion. They bit off a lot, and they're succeeding more than they're failing. Absolutely. Absolutely, they are succeeding more than they're failing. And I think that that's obviously really the one thing that we have to keep in mind, particularly for the game mode, that, you know, if you're showing up to this stream and you are watching my content specifically, you are probably an open world enthusiast, as I don't have a whole lot of other content, maybe a smattering of world versus world stuff. And when it comes to the open world experience, you know, it's a completely different thing than the other modes. And give me 2 seconds here. I'm just going to swap around, and Caddy and I will just do our killing stuff around the junkyard while I talk. I just want to make sure I'm on the right setup here. I am. Okay. Core Necro is a boss. Wow, Core Necro is not something I could ever personally get into. I leveled that one Core Necro in that one series that I did, but man, Core Necro. Open world has to be where their money is made. It has to be the most popular. No, I mean, not to the exclusion of other game modes. We say that it's the most popular, and we think that it's the most popular, and we can go to a large meta event and see hundreds and hundreds of people there. But then, you know, you look at how hard it is to get onto a map on any given Friday night in World versus World, and you realize that there are thousands of people playing World versus World at any given point. And I don't think, you know, I don't think you can really say that this is the only, that this is really that much bigger. Particularly, I think the strikes have been really popular in EOD. I think that the instance content has been much more popular than it was before. Did you ever try the Infinite Berserker build? I haven't tried that. Yeah, no, I haven't. But I have been watching. I think that was from Yummy Katsu that you got that, if I'm not mistaken. I have been following their content. Oh, the meta is on. Meta gameplay. I'm obsessed with open world. That's where I've been spending most of my time over the last few years. Oh no, yeah, that's the one, right? Yeah, thank you, Gail. I have not tried that. The only Berserker build that I run on Necro is Reaper, and that just may be a myopic thing. I'm not prepared to say that core Necro is bad or anything. It's just what am I doing here? I need to. Sorry, I lost my focus there. I guess playing that Core Necro and leveling it, and the first thing I wanted to do was put an elite spec on it. Whereas when I'm playing Engineer, or even when I play Revenant, I can play the core of that and not feel like there's one hand tied behind my back. And I think it may be the same problem that I have with Guardian, is that it's really hard to look at some of the other options and consider them to be viable. Moa Dixon, you are absolutely correct about that. It is absolutely insane how World versus World maintains its popularity and its shine despite getting zero love from the developers. And if there's one thing that I criticize ANET for pretty seriously, it is the lack of positive movement on World versus World. When you think of all the things they could have done to this game mode, it really just kind of feels like such squandered opportunity. And I get that it's not we killed the devs the other night. For those of you watching my screen right now, Caddy was very lucky to get the Conquer the Creator title the other night. Her regular World vs. World crew ran into a group of devs and did, I believe, their usual portal bomb shenanigans on them. I don't shift between World versus World. I go in and out of World versus World on a regular basis, and I will go through points when I really love playing World versus World, and then I will get really upset because of the... Is something stalled here? I will get really upset because of the lack of fair fights. Wow, we're on like a scuffed instance. None of the...
We put a stop to the speaker's rituals. They're
Oh.
retreating.
Well, look at this. Okay.
We've driven back the armies, but what about the lieutenants?
Okay.
They're so busy trying to fix each other's
Excuse me.
vehicles.
So I go in and out of love with World versus World on a regular basis. I enjoy the content a lot, but my problem is sometimes it's just hard to find a fair fight. To the point where I start to feel very, very frustrated by it. And if you start to get frustrated by that in World vs. World, then World vs. World is never going to make you happy, because it's never going to be a fair game mode. So there is that. And then there's other times where it's going to be all of what I do in the game. It's way more fun than you thought it would be. Joe, I absolutely agree. I'm one of those people that got into World versus World because I didn't want to do the daily Metrica event completer dailies and compete for taking, for tagging mobs in starter zones on event completer night. So I eventually ended up going into World versus World just to do dailies, and I fell in love with it. I've played a fair bit of it, but then at other times it's like the last thing in the world I want to do in this game. A lot of what makes a class great is if it fits you. Nothing that doesn't fit me will ever get my vote. Your class. Yeah, absolutely agree. People will ask, what should I play? What's the best class? And it's like, whatever looks cool. Whatever feels like it's going to be awesome kind of thing. I don't think we have enough people for this meta. All right. Because you're naturally going to play better on something that you enjoy. And the challenge just becomes, how do I know if I'll enjoy the elite specs and the play styles and stuff? And that's a valid question. Because not all of the elite specs obviously play the game, or play the same, but when it comes to basically, choosing a class, yeah, you're never going to play the game well if you aren't having fun and enjoying it. Yeah. The right transmutes will absolutely increase your DPS by 20 to 30%. Oh. So do we let's take the map switch, Caddy. Take the map switch. And I say that because maybe we'll get on a more populated map. No, we'll get on a map that isn't even doing the meta. All right, well, at least we'll get our mobs here. World vs. World roaming has kept me in the game since beta, despite playing all the other game modes pretty regularly. World vs. World is what has me come back time and time again. Can't beat the combat and the gameplay. Garchek, there is a lot to unpack in what you just said, because I think not only does World vs. World really show off where this game is best at points, but it really does highlight the fact that you can, get these kind of experiences in an MMO that you don't get. Like, you don't get World vs. World in any other MMO. You don't get anything close to what happens in World vs. World in any other MMO, except maybe, going back to the good old days of Dark Age of Camelot and some of the other more sandboxy kind of big fight games. And there's a lot to be said for how it absolutely will entertain me very much like you during, low kind of periods. And I just wish the developers felt that way. I really do, because as often as they say cornerstone game mode, they just don't treat it like one. Moa Dixon, that is very true. Sometimes I fight really unfair fights, and it gets me kind of how unbalanced it is, and I keep leaving for the day, but I can't stay away from it for long. And for those of you watching, yes, Caddy's issue is just fix the cannon at Red Keep on Eternal Battleground, which, if you have been there, has been floating in midair for, well, literally years. Totally, they've lost a big opportunity, but like you say, yeah. And what are you going to do about that, right? Like, how are you going to say, well, you're doing the wrong thing, when people still keep coming back, and everything is still queued completely on a Friday night, to the point where you can't even play with your friends, because the game mode is so busy on a Friday night, and you have to keep that into account. Like, going in and saying, well, they're not putting enough into this. Well, if they put any more into this, how would I be able to play with my friends, right? And I get that alliances are, the natural kind of, answer to this question. This is why we test here, is these spawns are pretty legit. I've done this enough that I can talk to you guys and do it at the same time, but it's pretty nasty little point here on the Ekavald map with these really quick respawns that really come back quick and give you a decent little challenge. I'll catch up on chat here in a moment. But you get these multiple elite spawns with a couple veterans in there, and they're the End of Dragons elites and the End of Dragons veterans, which are a fair bit different, but yeah, like the best place in the game to test. Totally, they've lost a big opportunity. Yeah, and yeah, it's crazy. Absolutely. So, I mean, I'm going to do a little bit of world versus world content over the next couple of weeks. As I've said, I've got some things I want to do before the big balance patch, and I want to get a couple of videos up this week. I want to get the Mechanist video up. I want to get the Let's Play world versus world stuff up, and maybe just shine a bit of a light on the game mode, because my biggest, what can I do about it is show people that it's fun, because I think that a lot of people hide from world versus world because they just maintain this whole anti-all competitive kind of game modes thing, and that's fair. That's fair if that's how you roll. But I think there's a lot of fun to be had in the game mode, and I don't think it's exclusively the realm of the try-hard, which I think is what a lot of people think. And a lot of people think that, all world versus world is a bunch of people on Thief ganking you and stuff like that. And it really isn't. Some of the best friendships I've made in this game have been from the social aspect. Hey Mind, I got those perplexity moons for my Mechanist that you mentioned last week. Big improvement. Yeah, they were pretty cool. So those perplexity runes really, expensive as fuck, right? There's just no question that those perplexity runes are out of the reach of a lot of players. I think they're 12 gold a piece right now, so it's like 70 gold to get into a set of them. But yeah, they do the proc of the minus 10% damage to confused foes. So when you're outputting that much confusion, it's a fun interaction. It's not bad. I don't mind them. I'm still, for the money, I'll go with the Renegade runes. But yeah, those perplexity runes are pretty decent and a nice little damage bump. So I enjoyed those a little bit this week. But getting back to the world versus world thing, I think it's like anything else. People just have to be shown that it's fun. I think that people shy away from strikes because they think that, they'll get barked at for doing the wrong thing. People shy away from X, Y, and Z because they're just afraid they don't know how to do it kind of thing. I built a Condi Chrono. See, if I could ever play Chrono, I would ask you for the build. But I'm so bad at Chrono. It's my kryptonite. Chrono is absolutely my kryptonite. I also love Mirage and suck at it.
That's how I do
There we go.
it. Lethal combination. I like it.
Oh, these spawns are real. I love it. And I think Untamed is fun. For my money, Untamed is absolutely fun. I'm bad at Chrono too, but I enjoy the dying. You know what? Me and Chrono goes like this. I start playing this game, and my second character is a Mesmer. And I take this character all the way to Heart of Thorns. And then I get my ass absolutely handed to me in Heart of Thorns. So bad that I could not finish Hearts and Minds. So bad that I had to roll this Ranger I am playing right now. I was just so bad on Chrono that I couldn't finish the last mission of Heart of Thorns. And this is before I knew anything about making a build or anything like that, for sure. But I have tried to go back to Chrono so many times and just suffered for it. I've just never been able to do it. And yet, I really like Mirage. I'm not great at Mirage, but I'm okay at Mirage. I really enjoy Virtuoso. I'm not fantastic with it, but I'm enjoying it. But when it comes to Chrono, all I can do is just lick the floor and wonder what I'm doing wrong. And I've tried many, many times. So I've just kind of given up at this point with the understanding that I don't have to be good at everything. Or anything, really. Yeah, I was very afraid of World versus World at first because I really don't like PvP. My SPV, rank is 19 despite there being so much fun to have. I'll tell you what, I've played a lot of MMOs, and I'd only enjoyed the PvP actively enjoyed the PvP in one other MMO, and that was DC Universe Online. And the reason why I enjoyed the PvP in DCUO, if you've ever played it or read about it, it has a mode called Legends mode. So you could play the regular PvP where you go in with your characters, or you play in Legends mode, which standardized everybody's characters. So you'd play Superman, you'd play Robin, you'd play X, Y, or Z. So it actually it was like standardized gear, only a lot simpler. And I really enjoyed that PvP because of the simplicity of it. But World versus World changed because of the social aspect of it. World versus World is a very social experience as far as I'm concerned. And you play it because you want to play with the people around you. No different than a lot of the gameplay in this game. And to successfully mix that kind of social aspect of it, now, I get that that's not roaming. I get that roaming and a lot of the gameplay is not very social at all. But holy crap, Caddy's damage. Wow. But, the social aspect is really what kept me in World versus World, hanging out with people on comms, building strategies and stuff like that. We used to have a World versus World guild that we played with a couple of times a week. And that changed my mind about it specifically, because if you're playing with a bunch of like-minded people, you can really overlook, some of the busted interactions and some of the scuffed elements of the gameplay. And I think you can really easily do that in World versus World. It's easy to grab 10 to 15 people and do that. And you can't really do that in a lot of the other game modes in this game. Gail, Mesmer and Elementalist are the two spec families. This is so attractive in concept that I can't stay away from it. It took me a long time to get my head around Elementalist. Elementalist didn't click with me until Tempest, and even then, it was after I was like really looking for things to play. It wasn't something I kind of jumped in on immediately and felt like it clicked with me. Elementalist was a bit of a slog for me to get into, but now that I'm into it, it's like any of these other classes that do so many more interesting things. All right, let's okay. Oh god, imbued spark. Hey, and your jawbreaker is very nice. Very nice, Moa Dixon. I took the jawbreakers and hopefully I sold those because I need the money towards my legendary sigils, because that's going to be my biggest account upgrade over the next little while. I don't think there's really anything else I can do in terms of really pumping my account and not killing myself with grind, other than maybe finally getting into raiding and getting a set of legendary armor. Let's see. I think, my friends. Alright. I think after this, I'm going to put an end to this. Yeah, it is a big goal, but you know, I did the whatchamacallums. Did the runes there a couple weeks ago. Finished the backpack. Caddy, let's find our way out of here. Oops, let me get on my sky scale. I just, you know, the legendary grind gets a little much at this point. Alright guys, I'm going to call it there for our Saturday morning shenanigans. Again, you know, 4,000. I can't believe it. 4,000 subs. I'm going to have some content up over the week for you all and continue the march towards 5,000. Thanks to all of you guys who joined in here today. Really appreciate you all stopping by and just hanging out on these nothing streams and just kind of derping around with me. I think that's fantastic. And I'll get something useful to you guys real soon. Caddy, a big thanks to you for the usual putting up with what we were doing this morning. Obviously, you could have been doing anything, but you spent your time here. And that's it, you guys. I will catch you all very, very soon. Thank you all.